Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make a cinnamon and raisin swirl sourdough bread. So I will put down the quantities of everything in the description below. I'm just going to weigh out my starter, which I have fed early this morning, and it's lovely and bubbly. Anyway, so we are going to need 50 grams of this. And now we're going to mix in our flour together with our salt. And there we have it. It's a lovely and shaggy mess. So we are going to let this rest covered for about an hour. I normally use a shower cap just to cover it. Best temperature is room temperature at about 21 degrees. While our dough is resting, we are just going to soak our raisins. So we just soak them in some filtered water and just put enough so that they are fully submerged. Alright, so it's been an hour since we first mixed our dough. I have drained off the water from the raisins and now we will fold those in. Just wet my hands so the dough won't stick too much. Feels lovely and soft, very stretchy. It's incorporating quite well. So at this point I like to transfer the dough to a clean bowl, which we are going to leave covered for the next 8 to 10 hours. We basically need the dough to double. There we go, all mixed in, so we will be back in 8 to 10 hours. So it has actually been only 7 hours because my kitchen was quite warm, so the dough rose quite nicely and doubled in size in that time. So what we're going to do now is we are going to turn this dough out onto our bench. So we are going to lightly flour the bench. And we're just going to tip it out and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, just so we can, I'll just wet my hands so it doesn't stick too much, just so we can work with the dough a bit more easier. Cover it up and we'll see you in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, our dough should be nice and relaxed now. So what we need to do is we need to stretch it out to a rectangular shape, and it needs to be about 20 by 40. So I'm just going to use my bench scraper here. So we're going to tap the flour underneath to release the dough. And we want to gently stretch it so we don't degas it too much. So from the center out, Alright, so now we are going to brush the surface with some water. Just gently. We're leaving about 2 centimetre border around the edges. And now we are going to sprinkle it with this mixture. So I've got a mixture of some vanilla sugar and also ground cinnamon. And again, we are leaving that border around the edges. Oh, that smells delicious. Yum. Cinnamon, one of my favorite spices to use. There we go. Okay, and now all that is left is we need to roll this up. So I generally like to roll the dough towards me, it's just easier for me. Just flour your hands so it won't stick too much to your hands, because it is quite a sticky dough. And you can start pinching the edges as well because you want to retain that filling. And use your base scraper if the dough is a bit stuck. Deflate any bubbles that you see that are really large. There we go. Great. So now we're going to flour the top with semolina flour. It will just prevent the loaf sticking to your banneton. My banneton's also floured with rice flour because you don't want it to get stuck. You want it to release nicely once you're ready to bake. I like to do this stitch pattern across as well, just to give a bit more tension onto that outer skin. I'm going to sprinkle the top with some flour as well. And we're gonna let this rise again for the second time at room temperature for about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how warm your kitchen is. So in the meantime, we can preheat our oven to 230 degrees together with either a pizza stone, or if you're using a Dutch oven, make sure that's in there as well. So it has been 40 minutes since we have shaped our loaf and it's ready to go in the oven. This loaf is actually quite long compared to my other loaves that I normally bake, so I'm going to bake this one on a pizza stone, and at the moment that is in my oven being preheated together with a tray at the bottom of the oven that I'm going to pour some boiling water into once I put my loaf in. So we're just going to release our loaf gently onto some baking paper. And I'm just going to give it 3 swirls just on the top to help it open up. Great, I'll go and pop this in the oven and I will see you in about 40 minutes with the finished product. So here we have the finished loaf, just came out of the oven. You guys, I wish you could be here. It smells amazing. The sweetness of the vanilla and the raisins. Yum. Can't wait to slice into it and show you what the crumb looks like. But unfortunately we do have to wait for it to cool down, so we'll be back in about an hour and we'll slice into it. Alright, so it's still a little bit warm, but I can't resist temptation any longer. Look at all that fruit, yum yum yum. It's very moist, lovely and crunchy. Listen to that. Oh, somebody's gonna have awesome breakfast tomorrow. There you have it. Happy baking, everyone.